Hey, everybody, this is Heidi St. John. Welcome to the Heidi St. John podcast. Today, I'm going to hit some of the headlines and we're just going to talk about things that are awesome, things that I love, things that I think we have to be thankful for heading into the Christmas and Advent season now. You guys, the headlines are actually pretty, despite the always ongoing, never-ending supply of bad news, we actually have a lot of really good things happening right now. And I'm going to talk about them and you guys are going to love it. This is the Heidi St. John podcast. Stick around. I think you're going to be encouraged. All right, you guys. So I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And to me, you know how much I love this time of year. So I'm going to encourage you, if you love to send Christmas cards like I do, please, please, please send your cards to us here at Firmly Planted Family. We will put those cards up on the wall for all of the students and their families here to see. We love to hear from you. We'd also love it if you could enclose a gift to the Firmly Planted Homeschool Resource Center and help us pay for our property taxes, which are literally insane here in Washington State right now. Even though we are a nonprofit organization, Washington State has made it almost impossible to get out of paying property taxes, even for a nonprofit like Firmly Planted Family. And so it has really rocked our budget. I'm not going to lie. We weren't expecting the $130,000 hit from the state. And so if you guys would be interested in helping to offset some of that by just making a small donation to the nonprofit organization, we would be so grateful. And you can write to us. Donation or not, we would love to hear from you. Send us your pictures and your Christmas cards. Tell us what God's doing in your life. Write to me here. Firmly Planted Family. It's Heidi St. John, care of Firmly Planted Family, 14001 Southeast 1st Street, Vancouver, Washington, 98684. Firmly Planted Family is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we've been in existence now for a really long time, coming up on 25 years, and we're doing amazing things for the Lord. You guys check it out. Go to Firmly Planted Family. I guess I should just start there. That's at the top of my list of things that I'm thankful for this year is what God is doing here in the midst of a very, very liberal society, very left-leaning area that we live in, and yet God is flourishing the ministry of Firmly Planted Family. And we've got lots and lots of kids here and their families. And you guys can find out how to start your own resource center by just going to Firmly Planted Family and clicking on the Homeschool Resource Center, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. And we have made a startup guide for you that talks about everything from how to get teachers to how to organize your classes, to making a schedule, to how to make sure that your volunteers pass a background check, all those kinds of things. We've been doing this for a very long time and we want to teach you how to do it too. And you can find out more. Just go to firmlyplantedfamily.com, click on the Homeschool Resource Center and scroll all the way down to the bottom. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make your life easier. I'm going to link to the startup guide if you're interested in seeing how to start your own homeschool resource center. I told you guys, I have a dream. And my dream is that Target would go bankrupt and that we could put homeschool resource centers in every Target, in every belly up empty Target from sea to shining sea, because I know that education is at the root of so much of what is wrong with our country. And I think that's going to get better under Donald Trump. I'm very excited to see what he does with regard to education. And honestly, he can do an awful lot just by bringing common sense. Our children should not be being taught to hate the country. They should be taught the history of our country, why we are the greatest nation on the face of the earth, why our founding fathers vision for America was the right vision. We live in an incredible country and it is worth protecting, and it is worth teaching our children why it is worth protecting so that they can pass it on to their children. All right, let's get to some headlines, you guys, because there are some just things I love. And I thought, this is a great after Thanksgiving podcast where we can talk about some good things that are happening in the news right now. I don't know if you're watching this, but Trump is back in town and people they're starting to take notice, starting to sit up, starting to change the way that they do business, starting with companies like Walmart and Toyota. They are scaling back their woke policies because they know that the old sheriff is back in town, right? Americans are like, oh, hey, the DEI initiatives are absolute garbage. DEI, of course, standing for diversity, equity, inclusion. But what it really means is didn't earn it. And we're starting to see organizations and schools, universities go back to a meritocracy, go back to merit-based promotion, merit-based jobs. If you want to get that job, show us that you're qualified for us. Show us that you can work hard. Show us that it means something to you, instead of just, oh, hey, I'm a Latino, or I'm trying to get in on affirmative action, or I'm a white person of Indian descent. We're really sick and tired of hearing about what happened to your great grandfathers when the country was founded, when people landed on Plymouth Rock. All right. What we want to know is, can you do the job? Do you care about the job? Can we get a good outcome as an employer? And I think you're going to start to see people going back to that and moving away from these woke policies that are really, really hurting our country. And there's also a lot of good news in the fight for common sense as it relates to basic biology. We watched for a long time Jen Psaki, the ridiculous press secretary for Biden, for a couple of years. And for all their talk of self-reflection, the Democrats have obviously not learned very much from the absolute shellacking that they just took in the 2024 election. People are sick and tired of being gaslit and told that we're the dumb ones because we don't think that men can become women. We're the idiots because we don't think that we should be teaching DEI in our children, or reading books like Feminist Baby to our 3-year-olds. They've been telling us for a long time, oh, hey, they're the smart ones because they have the college education. You guys, they went to college. And so the rest of us should just sit back and take a lesson as they tell us that biology is actually bigotry. And people are really sick of it. And the Democrats really took it in the shorts in this last election. And in the 3 weeks since the Republicans swept the House, the Senate, and the White House, the only conclusion that the left seems to have left is that we just don't know anything, and it's really too bad. And they're going to work really hard at making sure that we understand that everything really is about sexual identity and race and gender. That's what they're going to say. And so I loved this article out of the Christian Post by Suzanne Bodie. She's an op-ed contributor there. And she says that Psaki is claiming that boys in girls sports is right-wing propaganda that's not worthy of debate. Now, let me tell you why I like this. I like this because I just want to go, yes, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep telling everybody that boys can become girls, and we should keep giving cross-sex hormones to little kids. Keep telling us all this stuff, because if you keep telling us all this stuff, you're gonna keep losing. That's exactly what's going to happen. You're just going to keep losing. And Jen Psaki, who told MSNBC that in the election aftermath that Democrats shouldn't come to the, quote, wrong sweeping conclusions on things like transgender rights, is pointing out the Republican messaging in the country is facing a crisis of girls who want to play in girls' sports. She said these ads created the false perception that the issues of trans kids playing sports was dominating schools across the country, which is completely false. And I love this. I love this. Keep misreading how Americans are feeling about transgenderism. The tide is changing on this argument because people are absolutely fed up and done with transgenderism. It's disgusting. And I credit people like Matt Walsh over at the Daily Wire and several other well-known voices in the culture right now for bringing sanity back to this discussion. So there's some good news for you. We are seeing the tide turning, and the talk of transgenderism. You guys, I was talking about this, I want to say it was 10 years ago, maybe, out on the road. I was saying transgenderism is coming to the country, but even in my wildest imaginings, I never thought that it would have the sweeping effect that it is having. I never thought that every day we are seeing videos of young people who are trying now to detransition, to go back to their natural gender, and they have been irrevocably harmed by this disgusting ideology that's been pushed by the left, and this is a large part of the reason why they lost the election. So if they want to say it's not a big deal, I love that, because that tells me they're just going to keep on losing elections, and I am here for it. Here's another thing that I really love. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are signaling that they are intending to defund Planned Parenthood. You guys, a moment of silence for how good this is. Yes. These leaders of President-elect Donald Trump's proposed Department of Government Efficiency have indicated that funding for the nation's largest abortion provider might be on the chopping block as they seek to make drastic reductions to government spending. I love this because guess what? Funding Planned Parenthood was never the job of the federal government. Listen, Planned Parenthood got a memo for you. Go fund yourself. Go fund yourself. You want to kill babies? You're not going to do it on taxpayer dimes. We are sick and tired of funding the murder of innocent little ones through Planned Parenthood, which is by far and away the largest abortion provider in the world. Trump said that the new department is going to provide guidance from outside government to, quote, dismantle government bureaucracy slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies. You guys, I am here for this. I absolutely love it. DOGE, which is the name of the this new government efficiency department that Trump is creating, is going to help end federal overspending by taking aim at the $500 billion plus in annual federal expenditures that are unauthorized by Congress or being used in ways that Congress never intended. From $535 million a year to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Wouldn't you guys like to see those guys go away? Bye-bye. Thanks for playing. We have a lovely parting gift for you. It's called Money Back in the Taxpayer's Pocket. And $1.5 billion for grants to international organizations, to nearly $300 million to progressive groups like Planned Parenthood. In a post on X on Wednesday, pro-life activist Lila Rose of Live Action praised Musk and Ramaswamy's proposal to cut funding from Planned Parenthood. And she said, this is amazing. I agree with her. You guys, the good news just keeps coming. Planned Parenthood needs to find its own funding and stop relying on taxpayers to fund their brutal killing of the unborn in this country. So, hey, we have a lot to be thankful for. Also, I was reading more good news, you guys, just good news, good news, good news. Trump is about to go, I think, nuclear on the FBI. Now, we all know, because we've lived through this now for many, many years, that the three-letter agencies have really lost the trust of the American people. I think this is true. I don't care if you're talking about the DOJ, the FBI, the CDC, the NIH. We can go on and on and on. These institutions are no longer trustworthy. They are filled with corruption and darkness, and President-elect Donald Trump is gearing up to go after them. And he's going to go after the Justice Department. And honestly, you guys, I don't blame it. If I was Donald Trump, I'd be going after the Justice Department too, because the Justice Department's no longer interested in justice. They are interested in using lawfare and going after their political opponents. And so they have targeted him relentlessly for years and capped it off with a federal raid on his home in a blatant attempt to torpedo his 2024 presidential run, which obviously failed miserably. Moment of silence. Man, I love this winning. All of this winning. Trump has emerged victorious, and now he's going to get to strike back. PJ Media reports that the gloves are off and the days of tolerating the FBI's overreach are coming to an end. Trump reportedly plans to bypass the FBI's compromised background checks altogether, issuing security clearances to his appointees on his own authority. The scorched earth approach sends a clear message. The Biden's DOJ's partisan games are finished. You guys, good news. We have so much good news coming into the Christmas season this year. Merry Christmas. Oh my goodness. Merry Christmas, everybody. This is so awesome. With his team in place, Trump is ready to dismantle the Democratic Party's stronghold on the FBI, beginning the long overdue process of restoring integrity to the nation's top law enforcement agency. I would love to know how you guys feel about this. I would love to know how what are your thoughts on these changes? I think Trump's going to come in there and he is going to, on day one, he's learned something from his term 4 years ago, and he knows now that he cannot waste a single minute because the damage that has been done to this country under the Biden administration has been so severe and so extreme that the measures needed to fix it are going to have to be extreme as well. According to the report, this approach reflects the ongoing distrust of the FBI, which of course began with its handling of the transition records during the Russia investigation in Trump's first term. You guys remember this? Russia, the dossier and all the junk. Turns out Hillary Clinton talent was behind all that stuff. Well, Trump's team is maybe not going to get classified briefings until he's sworn in on January 20th, opting instead to unilaterally issue clearances across the administration. You guys, I am here for this. This is really exciting. In more really good news, oh my goodness, you guys, how happy are you that people like Ellen DeGeneres and the woman that she lives with are leaving the country? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I was asking on social media the other day, do you think that we should warn the UK that they're coming? No, I think the UK is going to figure it out. There's nothing that is more frustrating to me, nothing that is more annoying to me than to watch these washed up actors fleeing the country. They're heading to Italy. They're heading to Spain. They're moving as far away as they can get. And I am here for it. Goodbye. Good riddance. Get out. See you later. We don't want you here anymore anyway. These people who are so ungrateful for everything that this country has given them. Most of these guys are wealthier than you and I could ever imagine or even hope to be. And yet what are they doing? They're just, they hate the country. And there's nothing that I love better than somebody who gets paid millions of dollars to play pretend, talking about how they've been oppressed and how they just can't stand this country and they have to leave. But it happens more often than you might think, especially when a Republican wins an election. And this year we are seeing some of these guys say they are going to leave the country. These elitists need to go. So bye-bye. See you later. I'm really, really excited. Alec Baldwin is saying that he's going to leave. Bye-bye, Alex. See you later. Get out. See you later. Baldwin spoke on a panel at the Torino Film Festival in Turin, Italy, where he earned what we assume is some sort of Hollywood self-congratulatory award, according to PJ Media. He carried on about how the news is a business in the United States and they're just there to make money, which is fair enough. I mean, honestly, the mainstream media is absolutely owned by the progressive left, which is why you see such an amazing and awesome backlash now coming from Twitter, coming from the people who, Elon Musk famously said just about a week and a half ago, he said, guess what? I'm the news now. The people are the news now. And he's absolutely right. But then he went on to say, I guess that Alec Baldwin believes that Americans are idiots and we need propaganda from the film industry to save us all from ourselves because, folks, we have no idea what's really going on in the world. We need Alec Baldwin to tell us what's going on in the world. If it wasn't for Alec Baldwin and Sharon Stone and Ellen DeGeneres and all these weirdos, we wouldn't know what's going on in the world. So Baldwin wasn't the only washed up actor to make a fool of himself at the film festival. Sharon Stone, yay Sharon, also appeared on the panel. And not only did she attempt to school Italy, of all places, on fascism by inadvertently comparing Trump to Mussolini. So much good news. You guys, I just want to say to these guys, keep talking. Just keep talking. You know, you've heard the saying that when you're in trouble, stop digging. I just want these guys to keep digging. Just keep digging. She called Americans ignorant and arrogant and suggested that we are in our passportless, extraordinary naivety because we don't get out much. And so we don't understand how bad Mussolini was, which is why we just elected Donald Trump. Sharon Stone, listen, honey, keep talking. I love it. I couldn't love it more. This is what she said. You guys are going to love this. Lean in. This is Sharon Stone. This is Hollywood, okay? Sharon Stone, and I quote, she said, "My country is in the midst of adolescence. Adolescence is very arrogant. Adolescence thinks it knows everything. Adolescence is naive and ignorant and arrogant. And we are in our ignorant, arrogant adolescence. We haven't seen this before in our country. So Americans who don't travel and who 80%, of course, don't have a passport, who are uneducated, are in their extraordinary naivety," Stone said. And I'll tell you what, I agree. I think this makes me just a little bit nostalgic for Kamala Harris to come back with more of her word salad. Hollywood actors like this, calling Americans ignorant and stupid for voting for Trump, are the reason why Every American should stop seeing movies with these people in it. They hate you. Stop watching their garbage films. Stop giving them money. And I just say, we just keep talking, you guys. Cry harder. We absolutely love it. I don't know about you guys, but I love it. Here's another reason I think we should be excited. Trump has nominated the author of federal pro-life protection to lead one of the most corrupt agencies, and we saw their corruption firsthand in the Rona, the CDC. Whoa, CDC. He has nominated a pro-life advocate to serve as the next director. In a statement on Friday, he announced his nomination of former Representative Dave Weldon. He is a Republican from the great state of Florida for the position of CDC director. He identified him, who served in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1995 to 2009 as, quote, a medical doctor for 40 years, an Army veteran who's been respected, and a conservative leader on fiscal and social issues. You guys, this is really good news. Proponents say that the Weldon Amendment is a conscience protection to ensure that healthcare providers do not have to perform abortions if doing so goes against their deeply held religious beliefs. And so this is great news. Some of his picks haven't been so great, but I'm only sharing good news today. So I only want to talk about the good news because it's the day after Thanksgiving, and we can talk about all the bad news next week. So that's really good news. Good for you, Trump. That was a great appointment. In other good news, the Texas school board has approved an optional Bible-infused curriculum to be put in elementary schools. You guys, this is great news. The Christian Post was reporting that the Texas State Board of Education just a week ago today voted to approve this new curriculum that introduces optional Bible-based teaching in elementary school, a move which aligns with the Lone Star State, with other Republican-led states pushing for greater religious presence in public classrooms. Listen to what this curriculum does. It aims to infuse Bible teaching into various subjects, particularly into reading and language arts for students in kindergarten through fifth grade. You guys, check it out. So right now what we have in our schools, and let's not be naive about this. We have being infused into our schools, into language arts and into reading, gay history. We've got gender ideology. We've got all kinds of disgusting far left ideologies being pushed to children. And these guys are saying, you know what, we want to push the Bible. We want to talk about the golden rule. We want to talk about the 10 commandments, things like you should not murder, and you shouldn't commit adultery, and you shouldn't covet, and you shouldn't steal. Those are the things that the Texas State Board of Education is saying that it wants to put into its curriculum. I applaud this move. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And I hope that we see more and more of this. And the materials apparently could be rolled out as early as the next school year. So hats off to the great state of Texas, making education great again. And I hope to see more and more of this. I reported last week on my social media, in case you guys missed it, that Mattel was taking their consumers directly to a pornographic website. So the boxes that their dolls came in, I think from the show Wicked, there's a website on there, and it was directing people to an adult pornographic website. And the corporation says, "Oh my goodness, we're sorry, our bad." Now keep in mind that Mattel owns a lot of kid-friendly, or they used to be kid-friendly brands. They own Barbie, they own Fisher-Price, they own, wait for it, American Girl. And so they said, oh my goodness, we're just so sorry. The dolls, which were designed to look like Glinda and other characters, were supposed to help promote the Universal film Wicked before its November 22nd theatrical release. But as the popular X account Libs of TikTok pointed out this month, the boxes for this line of dolls directed consumers to a pornographic website called Wicked Pictures. The web address for the official site related to the film is wickedmovie.com. So on Sunday, they issued an apology after an Instagram user commented on the company's social media page asking if they were aware of the doll's packaging and did they know it was linked to a porn site. Do, 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 do. Well, they said, we deeply regret the unfortunate error and we're taking immediate action to remedy this. Parents are advised that the misprinted incorrect website is not appropriate for children. I find this fascinating. Now, we've decided that there are things that are not appropriate for children after we've allowed everything and their dog to influence our children with things that are patently false, patently inappropriate for children. Hats off to Mattel for at least trying to correct the error. I think the jury is still out. I personally was just like, really? This went out into your... We have been working so hard to sexualize our children that it doesn't surprise me at all that a link to a pornographic website wound up on a doll that on the packaging for a doll for a movie named Wicked that is being promoted to children. Are you guys that surprised? I'm not, but still, good news. They had to pull the packaging and issue a retraction and an apology. So winning, I call that winning. This is kind of cool. There's a faith-based studio called Wonder Projects. They have a new film out called Flyer, and it's going to chronicle the Wright brothers' legacy. Let me tell you why I like this and why it made my list of things I'm happy about today. I think that we are going to see a change, a shift. I think people are done with the disgusting people in Hollywood and the disgusting people that have been putting out movies for our children, sexualizing them. And we recognize too that the people that are behind this stuff are actually pretty gross themselves. And so I think we're seeing a pushback. Obviously, Angel Studios putting out really great movies. We're seeing some really good and wholesome options for entertainment coming out for families, which makes me really excited. The Wonder Project is an independent studio dedicated to faith and values-driven storytelling, and it's announced that its upcoming narrative feature, Flyer, a film that will chronicle the extraordinary journey of Orville and Wilbur Wright, is coming out. So John Gunn, the director of Ordinary Angels, which I loved, I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but put it on your list. I loved it. It stars Hilary Swank and Alan Richardson, and the head of the story for Wonder Project will direct the feature, which follows two humble bicycle mechanics from Dayton, Ohio, who forever changed the course of human history with their groundbreaking invention of powered flight. So expect good movies to start coming out in 2025. And when bad movies come out, you guys, send a message loud and clear. Don't go see them. Don't download them when they come out on streaming platforms. Don't go see them in theaters. And conversely, when you know a good movie is coming out, get out there and support it, because we have an opportunity to make a difference. And I actually think we are making a difference. And you can see this by the fact that people are absolutely starting to react. And they are saying that we're not gonna go and spend our money and give our money to people that hate us anymore. We're really, really tired of doing it. All right. I'm going to wrap up here pretty quick my list of things that I'm just ridiculously thankful for. And one of the things I'm very, very thankful for, and in fact, at the very top of my list, I am really thankful that former U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director Tom Homan, you guys pray for this man, Tom Homan. He is calling out Democratic mayors who have labeled President-elect Donald Trump's mass deportation operation cruel, and he warned of the repercussions that they could face if they attempt to block the plan. Many of you heard the mayor of Denver famously say that he'd be willing to go to jail to stand in the way, and he's going to use the police in Denver to stand in the way of Tom Homan coming in to deport illegal criminal aliens out of Denver. And here's why I love this. Tom Homan is here for it. Tom was like, listen, you know what I have in common with the esteemed mayor of Denver? He wants to go to prison for standing in the way, and I am happy to send him there. I love this guy. Following Trump's election win, the former president announced Homan as his new border czar, saying that the former ICE director would be in charge of all deportations of illegal aliens back to their country of origin. On the Ingram angle, Fox News' Laura Ingram played a clip of Democratic Tucson Mayor Regina Romero stating that she is unwavering in her commitment to, quote, protecting and serving the citizens of Tucson, calling the deportation plans cruel and immoral. Now, listen to Tom Homan's response, and you'll see why I like this guy so much. He said, what's cruel about it? We have a massive illegal immigration flow on the border, historic flows that overwhelm the Border Patrol. Sex trafficking is up 600%. 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl. We got a record number of known suspected terrorists and people on the terrorist watch list crossing the border, Homan said. We have children dying on the border every day. We got women being sexually assaulted by the cartels every day. Someone's going to die on the border tonight. Women are being raped on the border tonight. He went on to say, what's cruel about securing that border and saving lives, first of all? But I'll give her the same warning that I'm giving the rest of the sanctuary city mayors and governors. Guys, listen up. You cannot help us. That's fine. But you should get out of the way. We're going to do the job. I love this guy, Tom Homan. He's going to fix what's going wrong at our border, and I am here for it. I am absolutely here for it. Some of the picks that President Trump has been making are absolutely awesome. And an opinion piece in the Daily Caller, I'm going to wrap up with this because I thought it was so great. This was satirical, all right? And you guys know my love of satire. But he made a list. He said, it's been an epic year for us opinion writers. At this point, I give thanks to those buffoons, reprobates, scallywags, and demented and DEI disasters who made my job easier in 2024. All I've had to do was read the newspaper out loud on stage to get a laugh. The AAA predicts that 80 million Americans are taking to the roads with their families to visit relatives for Thanksgiving. Here's a great way to not have to buy them a Christmas present. Talk politics at Thanksgiving dinner after a couple of drinks. 2, Joe Biden pardoned 2 Thanksgiving turkeys in the traditional White House ceremony. Their names were Hunter Indictment Count 1 and Hunter Indictment Count 2. 3, Biden seems to be happy that Trump won, but he really needs to curb his excitement. Kamala and Karine Jean-Pierre have twice had to ask him to stop doing the Trump dance in staff meetings. He wrapped up by saying, on this Thanksgiving, I'd like to point out that the Puritans followed the religion of John Calvin and the economics of John Locke, and that my ancestor John Hart, who signed the Declaration of Independence, did too. All right, you guys, I just have 2 more things that I'm really happy about today. One of them was a video that I saw just a couple of days ago come across my social media that was featuring Vice President Harris speaking directly to her followers. And this is really her first time speaking since she lost the election. And I'm telling you what, you guys, that woman, she was looking rough. I don't know who let her get on the air like that. I'm not sure who thought it was a good idea, but I'll tell you what, the internet was here for it. This is what she said in part, and the word salad, you guys, it just does not stop. And apparently she's talking about mulling over a run for governor in California. And then I heard, oh my word, so many things that we're going to have so much fun in 2025. If for no other reason than just watching these people implode on each other. Caitlyn Jenner, which of course is Bruce Jenner. And I don't understand why we are talking about Caitlyn Jenner as if he wasn't a dude. It's Bruce Jenner in woman face. That's who Caitlyn Jenner is. And now he's talking about running against Kamala Harris for governor of California. That will be epic. I can't wait to see the memes that come out for that. But this is what Kamala Harris said. She said, I just have to remind you, don't let anyone take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th and the same purpose that you did and the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't let anybody or any circumstance take that power from you. She looked disheveled. I was like, is this a joke? Is she drunk? Is she drinking? And who knows? I mean, something was wrong. But Outkick columnist Mary Catherine Ham said this: when you hand your phone to someone to police your social media posts, when y'all go hard, you want to hand it to someone who likes you. And I think she's right. A lot of people were like, who thought that was a good idea? No video like this would have been released by a politician who isn't hated by her staff. So I think we're going to see some really interesting things happen. And also, I'm going to go back to this. I said this the day after Donald Trump won re-election in the United States. I think we have an opportunity now. And are we making fun of some of this stuff? Yes, because we should be making fun of it. Sometimes the only answer to the absolute insanity and stupidity that we have all lived through for the last 4 years is to make fun of it. It's to mock and it is to make fun of. But we need to remember that there really are people who believe, and I met one of them not too long ago, really believe that their rights. The women, I saw a woman on X the other day who believes that women are going to lose the right to drive, the right to vote. And they have been brainwashed by, wait for it, our education system, largely by what's happening in our woke universities and our colleges, when these kids have been taught that Donald Trump is a fascist and he's the end of America. And then you see him go and meet with Biden, who apparently is just fine, doesn't think that Donald Trump is an existential threat anymore, and happy to meet with him with a roaring fire in the backdrop. Then you realize that these kids have been propagandized. And the downside to these propagandized kids and this propagandized generation, of course, is that these kids genuinely believe that they're going to lose their rights, and they think the country's going to be on its head, and they think Trump is going to be Mussolini, right? Or maybe that's just Sharon Stone. I'm not really sure. But regardless, we have now a reprieve to show them that is absolutely not what is going to happen. And we're going to see a return to common sense in the United States. We're going to see a safer border. They're already beginning to construct the wall because the federal government is no longer standing in the way of Governor Abbott in the great state of Texas. We are going to see a return to common sense and the protection of the United States. And I am just continuing to pray that it's not too late and that God has really given us a reprieve. He has shown mercy over judgment in this country. We have so much to be thankful for. And I want to encourage you, we're going into the Christmas season right now. And I would love to see us go back to simple Christmases where we give baked goods to people for Christmas and we don't feel like we have to spend $6,000 on gifts. And maybe we spend more time making memories and playing games and having people over to our house than we do sitting for hours and hours and hours on Amazon trying to buy gifts for people who are going to appreciate them for 5 minutes, and they're going to wind up at a secondhand store this time next year. So let's be thinking about what really matters this year and thanking God for what He's done and for the ability that we have in this country to change things through elections. And I'm so thankful for all of you for listening to the show. Thank you for helping us get to almost 27 million downloads here at the show. Thank you for sharing the show. We've got some awesome gifts for you. If you subscribe to the Heidi St. John podcast and to the blog, we will send you the cookbook. There's a whole bunch of little freebies in there, a download of a talk that I've given and some other things. If you're not a subscriber to the blog, go and do it today. When you subscribe to the blog, if we have a sale or we do anything that is newsworthy, it goes out there first, and we want you to be a part of that. So head on over there and make sure that you set this podcast to automatic downloads so that you don't miss another episode of the Heidi St. John podcast. Starting in January, you're going to see an entirely new backdrop. We're moving into our new studio, and we're going to have in-person guests coming to the Firmly Planted Studios. I can't wait for that. I know you guys are going to love it. I am thankful for you. Thank you for listening to the show, for sharing it with your friends, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas, everybody. What an incredible time to be alive as we head into the Advent season. We have so much to be thankful for. Love your people well today. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here on Monday for Mailbox Monday. If you would like to have your questions answered at Mailbox Monday, the way to do that is to go to HeidiSt.John.com/Mailbox Monday. There's a form there. It's very easy to fill out, and you can submit a question there. We love you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here on Monday.